Yes, Sejal, do you have any questions? You've raised your hand. We are going to start with the webinar at 11 a.m. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Yes, Pooja, do you have any questions you want to ask me before we start? I have unmuted you for that. Pooja?
मैम
Yeah, Pooja.
मैम मुझे ये पूछना था अभी क्या है जैसे एग्जाम कंफर्मेशन नहीं है कि मई में ही होने वाली है तो जैसे सिलेबस कैसे कंप्लीट करें मतलब जैसे क्या है मुझे ना अभी अकाउंट्स का ऑल द रिवीजन तो सारे सब्जेक्ट के बाकी है और ऑडिट का आप समझ लीजिए 50 लेक्चर मुझे देखने के लिए बाकी है तो आप मुझे प्लीज गाइड करिए ना कैसे मैं सिलेबस कंप्लीट कर
पूजा ऐसे अज्यूम करो कि तुम्हारी एग्जाम मई में ही है, स्टार्टिंग ऑफ मई, एंड यू हैव टू प्लान इट इन सच अ वे. अभी करंटली व्हाट यू हैव टू एम इज तुम्हारा जो, जैसे मैंने फर्स्ट सेशन में बोला था, अपना कॉन्सेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग फेज पूरा खत्म कर दो. पहले वीडियो लेक्चर्स देखना, सेल्फ स्टडी करना खत्म करके देन यू हैव टू मूव ऑन टू रिविजन्स. सो योर फर्स्ट टारगेट शुड बी कि मेरा पूरा कॉन्सेप्ट, दोनों अभी 2 सब्जेक्ट जो पेंडिंग है उसके वीडियो लेक्चर्स देख के सेल्फ स्टडी करके कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर हो जाए. Right, your first aim should be that, or then you move on to revisions or paper writing. So जैसे मैंने बोला था, revisions में you can take chapter wise test. Also you have to write a 100 marks test. 2 minimum 100 marks test लिखनी ही है, right? So accordingly you plan कि maybe in next 15 days you finish your complete portion, or max to max by end of this month, and you get last 2 months only for revisions. Right, Pooja?
राइट मैम ऐसा हुआ था कल जैसे मैंने है ना CFS लिया था कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट वो मैं उसमें इतना ज्यादा उलझ गई थी मतलब कल का आप समझे एटलीस्ट 7 to 8 आवर उसमें निकल गए तो मतलब इतना ज्यादा टेंशन हो रहा था कि यार एक चैप्टर में ऐसा हो गया तो फिर बाकी का कैसे क्या हैंडल होगा मतलब वो
So पूजा ऐसा होता है, कोई कोई चैप्टर ज्यादा टाइम लेते हैं, बट व्हाट आई कैन टेल यू इज एट दिस स्टेज when you are doing concepts well, it's okay अगर थोड़ा ज्यादा टाइम लग रहा है, बट ये इंश्योर करो कि मेरा कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी बहुत अच्छा हो रहा है. राइट, ऐसे कोई कोई चैप्टर्स ऐसे हो जाएंगे कि मे बी 2 घंटे में खत्म हो जाए, कुछ चैप्टर्स को ज्यादा टाइम लगता है, इट्स ओके. राइट, दिस फेज इफ यू डू इट वेल, अभी अगर कॉन्सेप्ट्स बहुत अच्छे से कर लिए, देन व्हेन यू एक्चुअली स्टार्ट योर रिविजन्स और स्मूथ हो जाएंगे. सो दिस इज लाइक योर इन्वेस्टिंग टाइम. So it's okay, you don't feel guilty about it, right? But obviously try to increase the speed. पर अगर ऐसा लग रहा है कोई चैप्टर्स को मुझे बहुत टाइम लग रहा है समझने को, तो इट्स ओके, अभी वो टाइम दे सकती हूँ. रिविजन फेज में इतना टाइम नहीं मिलेगा. राइट,
ओके मैम, थैंक यू सो मच.
वेलकम. ओके, we'll start in 3 minutes. We'll start at sharp 11 o'clock. Okay. Yes, Harsha, you have some questions. You've raised your hand. We have 3 minutes. Meanwhile, I can answer you. Yes, Harsha, I have unmuted you, so if you want to ask me any questions, you can. Okay, I don't think you. Okay, Harsha, if you want to type in the chat box, that is also fine. Yeah, Harsha?
Yeah, एक डाउट है मैम. थियरी सब्जेक्ट्स कैसा मैनेज करना मैम फाउंडेशन में? बहुत दिक्कत आ रहे हैं मैम थियरी सब्जेक्ट्स लाइक लॉ एंड इकोनॉमिक्स.
थियोरी सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए आपने लास्ट सेशन अटेंड किया है हर्षद, फर्स्ट और सेकंड सेशन?
Yeah, this is the first section, ma'am.
Oh, this is your first session. So I have covered all these things. आप ये देख लोगे ना, आपको क्लैरिटी आएगा कि कैसे पढ़ाई करनी है, हाउ टू गो अबाउट. कैन यू लाइक सीए टेस्ट सीरीज के यूट्यूब चैनल पे जो मेरे लास्ट 2 क्लास है इसमें ये कवर किया है, तो आप देख लेंगे प्लीज.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, because I'll start this session in 2 minutes now. That's why. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
आप देख लेना, you'll get
Okay.
all the answers. Yeah. Okay, see, rest of the queries, let's take it after the session. We have a separate Q&A because I need to start the session at sharp 11 and only 1 minute is left. Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to answer each and every question. So let's start at 11. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's start with today's session then. Okay, today, as you all are very much aware, today's topic is how to reduce exam stress and worry. Very, very important topic. And at this stage, especially for those who are giving your May attempt, can you all just tell me quickly, type in your chat box that how stressed are you currently? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your stress level? If you're very, very stressed out, you can give it a 8, 9, 10. If you feel you're not very stressed, you can give it a lower rating, maybe 2, 3, 4. So let's quickly rate what is your current status. Okay, Tanishq is saying 8, Mehul is saying 8.5. Okay, Harsha 6, Nupur 7, Janvi 8, Riddhi 8, confused. Shravan is saying between 7 to 8. Okay, Swarna is saying 8. Okay, Sanchit 6, Dhruv 8. So I can understand it's somewhere between 6 to 8. Majorly 8 and 9 is what most of the people are facing, right? And there's hardly anybody or there's nobody who's saying that I am not stressed. Okay, so let me tell you all one thing, that you have so many people telling you how to manage stress on YouTube. Everywhere you get so many tips, but why this session is different. First, what we'll understand is what is the root cause of stress, and once we know the why, it will be easier for us to sort out. There are various techniques which I'm going to give you in this session, right? Very, very simple techniques for to improving your studies, and second, to help you reduce your stress and worry levels also. So I want all of you to be completely there with me in this session. And last part, as I told you all, it's going to be the Q&A, right? So at the end of it, let's have all your questions answered. So meanwhile, let's have an interactive session. You all can ask me questions, but specific questions if you have, we can have it in the very end. In between, if you don't understand anything, you can ask me now. Any other questions, we can take it up in the end, right? So let's start with today's session then. Okay. Now, to begin with this session, as I told you all, if I have to think about stress, worry, the first thing that comes to my mind is what comes to your mind is your mind. Mind has all your stress, all your worry. So meet your mind today. Okay. See, none of us have actually seen, nobody knows how exactly the mind looks. So for some time, let's imagine this rectangle is Mr. Mind, right? And currently your mind is doing a lot of things. It's reading, it's listening, studying, checking WhatsApp, worrying, daydreaming, right? So your mind is busy with so many activities currently. Now, where does this exam stress come from? From where do you get all this stress, right? Let me explain this to you with the help of a very, very simple example. Okay. Now, just tell me one thing, all of you, which was the last movie you saw in the theater and you really enjoyed. You all can quickly type in the chat box, which was the last movie did you see? Yes, in the theater and you liked it? Can you all type, please? Okay, Animal, Sam Bahadur, Animal, okay. Mahi is also saying Animal, Janvi is saying Sam Bahadur, Sanchit is saying Animal, okay. A lot of people are saying Hanuman, okay. Okay, there's no chat box as such here. You have to type in Q&A. This is different because this is the Zoho app. I think somebody is asking. And can you all hear me? I'm getting like Avni is saying that the volume is low. Are you able to hear me, all of you? You can just say a thumbs up if you are able to hear me. Okay, fine. Okay, cool. Okay. So, when you saw your last movie, maybe Hanuman or most of you all are saying Animal, tell me something. How much part of your mind was completely engrossed in the process, like enjoying the movie, thoroughly being there in the movie, versus how much of you were thinking that what will be in the end, what will be the outcome, or how many of you just thought that I should pause the movie and just go to the end, right? No, what was happening was you were completely engrossed in the movie, in the process, right? Your attention towards the outcome was very, very little. You were just enjoying and being there, completely present in the movie, right? Now, take the next scenario. When I am preparing for my exams, what happens when I'm preparing for my exams? So if focus on the process is 40%, focus on outcome is how much? 60 or more than that, right? How you're busy thinking about all the possible things that can go wrong, what the new syllabus, everything might be difficult, the paper might be difficult. So if you see the focus on outcome, I have shown a sad face, right? Because most of you, when you think of the outcome, it seems to be more scary, right? You think of all the negative things. Very few of you will actually think, oh, I'm going to get a rank, or oh, I am going to get an exemption and all, right? Most of y'all, your focus is more on the outcome and lesser on the process, right? Your mind is busy worrying about what will happen, and it's all the negative things that you think of when might happen in the upcoming attempt, right? So stress arises during exams because only half of your mind is focused on the process. When you are using your mind only to half of the capacity, and it is just focus, more of it is worrying about what will happen in the future, what is going to happen, stress levels are going to rise further and further. Unlike a movie where you're actually focusing on the process and you're very little thinking about the outcome, as against these exams wherein focus on process is lesser, and I tend to worry more about what happens in the future, what will happen, what will be the outcome with the new syllabus, what if the exam pass percentage is even below 9% this time, and so on and so forth, all the negative things that can possibly happen, right? So what do I need to do to reduce stress? First is I need to focus on my process more. And second is I need to focus on outcome lesser. That would be my ideal state of mind, wherein I am focusing my maximum mental capacity on my mind on getting the process right, and very little of this is on what will happen in the future, on the outcome, right? So what do you need to do is using the remaining time to focus more on the study process and reduce focus on what will be the outcome. Now, how am I going to do this, right? How am I going to come here? So today we are going to talk about various techniques. So two techniques to ensure that the focus, you remember we had masterclass 1, masterclass 2, where we spoke about how I can get better and better with my process. Today we will talk about two more very, very important techniques to help you address your weak areas and help you make your, the entire process very, very robust. Also, the next part would be focusing on outcomes, wherein I'm going to give you very, very specific techniques for different things. Like, when, for example, you feel like you want to study, but your mind is not in the right state, right? Or you're feeling very anxious, you're feeling very nervous. So for every situation, I'll give you a different technique, very easy to follow, which you can start doing to help you be really, really productive and help you reduce your focus on outcome and more on the process, right? So, as I told you all, improving focus on process, reducing focus on outcome, and 2 techniques to help you there, and 5 to help you in the focus of outcomes, right? So let's first move on to the 3 why technique. So this is a very, very powerful technique to find your areas of weakness. This technique will actually, it will help you understand that what is it that I'm not understanding, or what is it that I am very, very weak at, right? Okay, so let's understand what is the 3 why technique. It's a very, very simple technique, but a very powerful one, which will help you that understand that this is my weak area. Okay, let's start. Now 3 why, I'll explain this technique to you with the help of a very, very simple example, right? Now imagine your most difficult subject is taxation. Like, I'm just giving you an example. Now I'm telling you that you have to score 75 in tax. Now, if it's the most difficult subject for you, in your mind, your thoughts will be, is she crazy? How is it possible? How can I even score 75, right? Then you need to ask yourself the first and foremost question, that why can't I score 75 in tax? Then first thought will be, obviously, is she kidding, right? This is my weakest subject. And then when you go to think that so and so topics are the worst, maybe assessment procedures or capital gains or business income, these are the worst. I always find them difficult. So now you understood that these are the things that I'm really, really finding very difficult in this subject. Now next is, now that you got the first why, you have to go to the second. Then why am I finding these 3 chapters so difficult, right? So why is it so difficult? Then you might get answers, like, once you start thinking of it, like, it's not the entire thing that is difficult, but maybe particular sections are very difficult. When the problems are asked for business and profession or capital gains or computing the income, I am not able to do that. Those specific things I am very, very confused about, or I'm not able to figure out, right? Now that you understood, you further broke down your problem. Now we come to the third part, right? Why do I find these 3 subtopics so difficult, right? And then when you go to think of it, that because I'm not confident about the same, or because my concepts about this particular thing is still not very, very strong, I'm still getting very, very confused, right? So this is what you need to focus on. So this is where this 3 why technique helps you to figure out that what is it, where is it that I am falling short, right? What is it that is my exact weakness? And once you know where is it that your weakness lies, you can work on it, right? See, once, now slowly, gradually, you will be done with the conceptual understanding phase. You will be done with your concepts. Then when you move on to revisions, to understand that why am I still getting scared? Why am I, still not very confident? This is a very, very effective technique to understand that why, like, you can do this for every subject, right? And try to come to your weak areas and the weakest point. And then when you know your weaknesses, instead of, so basically what we all do is we tend to run away from our fears. We don't want to think also that tax, it's so scary. No, instead of running away from that fear, let's face it. And this technique is a very, very useful technique to understand that what is it that is not right, what is it that scares me, or what is my weak area. So this will help you understand what is your weakest area there, and then you need to work on it, right? The second technique to help you improve your process and to work on your weaknesses is the teach technique. So if you have attended the webinar one, I told you all about the teach technique, but because it is so crucial and so important, let me do a very, very quick recap, because this will make your entire study process very, very robust, your preparation process very robust, right? Okay, so teach technique, it is like a very effective technique used by toppers, and I can vouch for this because all my students who have used this technique, they have understood the concepts really well, and they feel more and more confident about that particular thing. So especially things which you're finding very tricky and you're not feeling confident, try to teach yourself that particular thing. See, what happens is, as I told you all, that once I go to teach, right, I'm imagining that maybe you have a whiteboard with you and you go to teach someone. What will happen is you will understand that, oh, this is the area that I'm getting stuck. When you try to understand, you try to teach that concept, you'll understand this is my understanding gap, what I understood versus where I'm falling short, right? This technique will help you make your concept very, very clear. Second, it will help you understand the understanding gap that you have, and you can work on that particular area, right? So it is a best way to clarify and master tricky concepts, right? And second thing, the second advantage the teach technique has is it is very, very normal for a human mind. When, like for example, I go to teach someone, the first thing I will do is I will do that particular topic in as much detail as possible. Second, my mind automatically starts thinking that what are the possible questions that can be asked, right? And automatically you're going to the applicability of knowledge phase. You're trying to think of whatever questions that ICI can ask you, right? So two very, very powerful techniques to understand your weaknesses, to understand what are my learning gaps and to work on them, right? Because what we all do is we think once we've studied, we've understood everything. No, that is where we fall short. And these two exercises are something which will help you understand that this is my weakness and this is how I work on the weakness, right? So far with me, all of you, I've got a lot of questions. Yes? So far with me? Great. Okay, fine. Now we are going to move on to the next part, that is focusing on, how do I reduce my focus on outcomes? Like, you want to study really well, but I have a lot of thoughts. I have negativity, I have worry, I'm bored. I have so many things which are stopping me from studying really, really well. So techniques to reduce focus on outcome. So this is consciously breaking any thought pattern about outcome, worry, fear, as in when you tend to think of all the negative things. So you can use these techniques whenever you find you're facing stress, worry, anxiety, and it will help you reduce your focus on outcome and increase your focus on the process, right? So as I told you, I'm going to tell you all 5 different techniques which can be used for 5 different scenarios. Now, first and foremost, 5-4-3-2-1 technique. This is like one of my favorite techniques. Basically, this technique, it helps you get your mind to the present state and come back to studies, right? So, what is this technique? It's a very, very simple technique. 5-4-3-2-1 is using your 5 senses. So, what we'll do is, let's all do the technique together. I will explain what is to be done, and we can simultaneously do it so that it gets registered and you can start applying this session during your study sessions. First, we'll do the technique and then I will tell you all how this technique can be used and where it can be used. Okay. So let's start with the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. So what I want you to do is, all of you, please close your eyes, right? And yes, everybody has closed their eyes. Okay. Just focus on your breath for 2 to 3 seconds. Just be there. Focus on your breath. Now, first thing, notice any 5. Now you may open your eyes, okay? And notice any 5 things that you can see. Any 5 things. It could be as small as a crack on a wall, right? Or a very, very small thing that you can observe. Usually when you don't pay attention to these small things, any small thing that you can observe, right? So first, pay attention to one object. Hold on for 10 seconds, move on to the next. So I'll help you all there. So just pay attention to the first object. Now pay attention to the second object. Now pay attention to the third one. Now pay attention to the fourth. Yes, and now pay attention to the last one. Yes, now that we are done with the first technique, let's move on to the second thing. 4 things that you can feel, right? So what is it that you can feel, right? So where you're sitting, what you're wearing, what is the sense of touch that you are getting? It could be where you're sitting, what you're wearing, where your feet are, or where your back is rested. Just try to feel 4 things, right? Any 4 things that you can feel. Now, once you're done with that, notice three things that you can hear. Any sounds that you can hear. It could be anything. It could be birds chirping, horns honking. It could be any sound that you can possibly hear, right? Try and pay complete attention to that sound. Okay. Next is 2 things you can smell. Any smell that you are getting, just try to pay attention whether there's any fragrance or there's any odor, anything that you can smell. Okay. And the last thing is one thing you can taste. So notice any one thing that you can taste. Now this is known as the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. This 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique is a very, very powerful technique which you can use, in your like after every study session when you've taken a break and you've come back to studies, when your mind is all over the place, right? After, what happens is in a break, because I'm doing umpteen things, sometimes I even go to WhatsApp or something. What happens is my attention is diverted. Ideally, I recommend that when you take breaks, please do things that relax your mind and not engage your mind. But it does happen that in these breaks, your mind is all over the place. So to get your attention back to the present moment, you can quickly do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. Because once I'm using all my senses, my previous thought chain is stopped and I can get back to the current state. Okay. So the first and very, very simple technique, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique, to help you get your attention in the present moment and to help you study well, right? So that is the first technique. Very simple. Yes, did everybody understand? Okay, great. Now let's move on to the next technique. Now, this is known as the spinal breathing technique. This is also a technique which I highly recommend to my students. So I'll tell you a true, one of my students who was giving his inter exams in the previous attempt, in the taxation paper, though it was a very strong subject, what suddenly happened is he suddenly got really nervous and anxious, and suddenly, he just went blank. That point of time, he remembered this spinal breathing technique. He did it for like 2 to 3 minutes, like 10 to 15 cycles. After that, what happened is, because he was again calm and composed, he could actually apply his knowledge and he scored a 57 in that exam. So what I'm trying to tell you is, this technique helps you reduce your anxiety, your nervousness to a great extent. Now, when do I use the spinal breathing technique? I can use the spinal breathing technique when I am in the exam hall, before I start my paper, when at that point of time when my heart is beating really fast and I'm very nervous. This technique helps you there, right? To calm down your nervousness and anxiety. Also, a lot of you have issues falling asleep. This is a very, very effective technique which will help you fall asleep also, right? So this is known as the spinal breathing technique. Now I'll tell you all how it is to be done. You all can do it with me, right? So what I first want you all to do is, please close your eyes, right? Okay, all of you, please close your eyes and take 5 to 6 deep breaths at first. Just simply take 5 to 6 deep breaths at first, right? Now, once you have taken 5 to 6 deep breaths, then concentrate on your breath, right? So just pay complete attention to your breath. Now, when you inhale, you focus on breathing. feel like you are going inside along with your spine. So what I mean is, when you're inhaling, imagine you've inhaled and you're going from the beginning of your spine to the end. The spine begins near the neck area and it goes all the way down where exactly you're sitting, right? That is the place where it ends, right? So inhale, imagine that you are breathing from the beginning of your spine to the very end. Feel like this breath is taking the path of your spine like a hollow pipe to reach the belly. Maintain focus on breathing until it reaches the base of your spine. Okay. Now hold on for a few seconds. It could be just 2 to 3 seconds. Now exhale and maintain the focus on breathing. Just follow the breath through the spine. So basically imagine that you're exhaling again from the end of the spine to the very beginning, right? So initially this will happen on imagination only, because you will not exactly be able to feel your breath from the beginning to the very end. So what you can do is you can simply imagine that you're inhaling, breathing from the beginning of the spine, holding on for a few seconds and exhaling from the end to the very beginning, right? So this is also 10 to 15 times you need to do it to feel the change, right? So I highly recommend, when you go to your exam center, please stop studying once you leave your house. No studies on the way in the exam center. Reach before time and do the spinal breathing, right? First, you just focus on your breath, calm yourself down, and then do the spinal breathing. You will see you're very, very calm and composed. And whatever you've studied, you will actually be able to apply your knowledge, right? Because see, the way your mind and your heartbeat is in those 3 hours really makes a lot of difference, right? You are, whether you're able to pay complete attention, whether you're able to, whatever you've studied, are you able to apply your knowledge? It all depends on your mental state at that point of time. And this is something which will help you drastically to increase the calmness of your mind, right? Okay, so this is the second technique that I told you all. It's known as the spinal breathing technique, right? Now the third technique, this is a very, very simple technique. It's known as the box breathing technique. The good part about this technique is it can be done any point of time. It helps you reduce the negative thought pattern. So, you know, even when you're traveling, but you're thinking very, very negative about your exams, about your outcome. So anytime you have this negative thought pattern, it is a very simple technique which will help you break that thought pattern and, you know, again be in a better state of mind. So again, let's do this. Okay. So how it is to be done, it is the 4-4-4 technique. It's a very, very easy technique. So basically you breathe in for 4, hold the breath for 4, breathe out for 4, and again hold the breath for 4 counts. Now I will tell you, I'll instruct you. I want you all again to close your eyes. I will tell you all how it is to be done, right? So first, inhale. Close your eyes and just pay attention to inhaling. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on your breath for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you exhale. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now hold on. Don't take a breath again. Don't inhale again. Hold on for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So this is one cycle. You have to keep doing it for 2 to 3 minutes and it will help you come back to a good state of mind, right? So this is an easy technique to break your unnecessary thought patterns, right? So very simple. Do this for 3 minutes. You will see that there is a break to your whatever negative thoughts you had, right? Now you'll say that with this technique also, ma'am, it's not working. It happens at times, right? You're very, very negative and you're just not able to break this entire thought chain. So let me give you a very, very powerful technique. So it is a very, very advanced pranayama technique, but I thought I should share this with you all because it's something which will help you, you know. So if you are feeling very, very negative or extreme negativity, extreme stressed out, this will really help you out, right? So let me just tell you how it is to be done. It's known as the mood change technique, right? For doing this technique, first thing you need to do the box technique to stabilize your breath. And after that, you can do this mood change technique, right? This will help you change your mood if you're feeling extreme negative, you will be in a much, much calmer and composed state. So basically in this, you have to inhale for 4 counts, hold for 12 counts, and exhale again for 8 counts. And this technique, I'm not doing it with you all now because you have to pay complete attention when you're doing this. So you can do it later on. But again, this has to be done for 4 to 5 minutes. So when you are feeling extremely negative or extremely stressed out, right, this is a very powerful technique. First, you do the box breathing to ensure that my breath is stabilized, my heart is not beating very fast. And then you do this technique to help you be in a good state of mind, right? Okay. Now, after that, we move on to the brave brain entrainment technique. Okay. So if you all remember in session 1, we spoke about alpha waves. Do you all remember, any of you? Yes, anybody remembers of the alpha? Yeah, and I told you all a very good technique to get into the alpha state of mind. Right. So a lot of yes, I'm getting glad. I'm happy that so many of you all do remember. Right. So this is, if that technique is not helping you out and you're still not able to get into the state of mind. So just a quick recap for people who have not attended Masterclass 1. Alpha technique is a very, very powerful technique to help you be in a state of mind wherein your receptivity is very high. So basically at that state of mind, you are able to understand things better, you are able to retain things better. It's a very good state of mind to help you study well, right? So we are naturally in the alpha state of mind when we are we are just going to sleep, or we've just got up. In the day, when you're doing your daily activities, you are mostly in autopilot mode, wherein you're doing things but you're not conscious about it. So you are usually in the beta state. Now, to be in the alpha state of mind, right? I had told you all one technique in masterclass. Now I'm going to teach you another technique. It's a very, very simple technique. What you have to do is brainwave entrainment. What does this mean? So it refers to a method of getting your brain waves to sync with a specific stimulus like an audio, right? So basically, this is very simple to make your life easier. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share 2 audio files with you now. What you have to do is you have to listen to it. So see, this is not to be done when you are studying. This has to be done before your studies, and this needs to be done only at that point of time when you feel that I've tried everything else but I'm still not able to study. I have already used all techniques given by ma'am, but still it's not working. Then you can do it, and this can be done till you feel like you have to basically listen to it. There are 2 types here. Isochronic tones, you need not use headphones. Binaural beats, for these type of beats you need to keep your headphones on, right? So if you are someone who doesn't like to use headphones, you can simply use the isochronic tones. If you're someone who likes to use the headphones and listen to music, so you may use the binaural tones, right? So what you need to do is, before you start your studies, when you've tried everything but your mind is still not helping, it's all over the place, you can do this technique, right? So I am going in the chat box. I have sent you all. Did you all get it? Okay. So the first one is the isochronic one. The second link is the binaural one. So those of you who are very comfortable listening to without headphones can use the first one. Those of you who want to use headphones, the binaural beats will help you there, right? Did all of you get it? Can you all just give me a thumbs up so that I know? Not received. I have broadcasted it to you all. Okay, let me do it again. Let me just send it to you all again. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so first one that I've sent is isochronic. I hope you all got it, right? Now the second one I'm sending is binaural, right? Right? So I hope now I've sent it twice. I hope you all get it now. So basically what you have to do is you have to simply listen to this, and it will help you, because it naturally helps you tune your brain waves, right? So I don't recommend this to be done often, only when you want to study, but in spite of trying all techniques, this does not work out. Listen to this till the time your mind is again, that negative thought chain has not stopped, that negative thought which is repeating has not stopped. You can listen to it, and then you can stop and you can begin with your studies, right? Great. Okay, now I have many questions people are asking me. Okay. Okay, Viresh is saying that you use music videos for solving sums. See, I actually recommend that music videos, when you're listening to music, it tends to distract you. I recommend that when you're studying, you don't use music. But if you are somebody who's got very comfortable with this and it does not distract you at all, I'm absolutely okay. These tones which I've told you, these cannot be used when you are listening to music, right? These, sorry, when you're studying, this has to be done before that, right? Okay, fine. So now that I've told you all so many techniques, now you all can ask me all the questions that you all have. I know so many of you are asking, are waiting for me to answer all the questions. So let's begin with all the questions then. Yes. Uh, okay, fine. 2 to 3 points different in CA topic versus pass versus. Okay, you all can start typing your questions and I'll answer. नितेश इज आस्किंग, एग्जाम में प्रिपेयर करने में प्रॉब्लम आता है, यूज कैसे दूर करें, क्योंकि सभी डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट्स है. सी एवरी सब्जेक्ट इज डिफरेंट एंड the way you have to handle these subjects is also different, right? So as I told you all, to make your day also very productive, always take a subject which you like, which and you are not so fond of or you find it difficult. The time of the day when you are very productive, you can take the difficult subject, and the time of the day when you are less productive, you can take the easier subject, right? Okay, another question was, Tanishk is asking how to approach revision in particular. So Tanishk, what you need to do is, once you're done with the conceptual understanding phase, you can take one subject or maximum two subjects for revisions, right? If you're taking two subjects, again, take a easy and a difficult one. You ensure that whatever at this phase you have marked whatever is important, because as you go on to the second revision, you cannot do everything in detail. So at your revision phase, your marking should be in place. Your RTPs also you should have gone through, and all the material given by the institute. And after, at the end of the revision, first revision, as you finish, please at least write 100 marks paper. And if you've taken the chapter wise test series from CA test series, then after every 2-3 chapters, you can club it and you can accordingly write a chapter wise test. But 100 marks test is absolutely mandatory. And as I told you, one set of revision, right, and one set of papers, do write in the exam style, for you to gain clarity that where is it that you stand and how I have to go about with the exam days, right? Okay. Okay. What should be the revision strategy for final month of April, both groups? That is what Ankush is asking. So for the revision strategy, I am hoping that up to March, you would have finished at least one revision, right? And in April, you're doing the second revision. So at least once for the second revision, I will recommend that you do one set of revisions in the exam style. So every alternate days, you're writing a paper, right? So by April, if you finish writing one set of papers, one set of paper in April, you can write exactly in the exam style. So, that will take you 12 days as it is. rest of the days, depending on whether it is your first revision or your second revision, you can divide it in the balanced days in the number of subjects you have, and at least go through things which you're finding very difficult, or things which are very, very important. Right, Ankush? How many? Okay. Viresh is asking that in November 23 that he gave both the groups and cleared first. Now he's studying for second group. And he's not able to sit for long hours, right? Mind is becoming very casual. So Viresh, as I told you, for this state, one thing is you have to ensure that, if you remember in masterclass 1, we spoke about having a tracking framework, a track sheet to understand what is the time that I have on hand and how I'm using it. Having an accountability partner to help you be more accountable. It could be mentor, it could be a guide, it could be a family member or a friend. You can also have, like as I told you, I also have my mentoring, one-to-one mentoring on CAtestseries. You can even join that, right? And also what you need to do is, if you're not able to sit for long hours, you can divide your study sessions in shorter slots, maybe 45 minutes each. 45 minutes sit at, take a 5-7 minutes break, again sit for 45 minutes. That is one thing you can do, right? Dividing your study sessions in shorter slots. And very, very important, having weekly targets, right? So every week you should have a target, and every morning you should ensure that you are working towards accomplishing your target, right? Once you set targets and you start achieving them, it will help you gain a lot of confidence, and you will try to become better and work better and study harder, right? Also, today I gave you a lot of techniques when your mind is all over the place, specifically the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, box breathing. All these things are very simple. They will take 2 to 3 minutes, but your mind, you will be able to study again, right? You will be able to get your mind back to studies. So start applying these simple techniques and you will see what wonders they do, right? Okay. 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 Janvi is asking that 100 marks, when she gives 100 marks mock in the last month, and she tends to get demotivated because of less marks. See, Janvi, it is very, very important that you give marks, give your marks, and instead of getting demotivated with those marks, you approach it differently. You realize, you could be grateful that you are realizing that where is it that I'm still falling short, right? So don't take these mocks in the very end. Try to take at least one set of mocks in the first 10-15 days of April, right? So that you know that, okay, this is my weak area. I'm still falling short of time, or I'm falling short of speed, or this is particular concept which I still don't know well, right? So what you can do is you can use that time to your advantage. So what I'm saying is, instead of taking mocks as a demotivating factor, take it as a take it as something which is going to help you understand that what is my weak area and I need to work on it. If you change your approach in this last month, right, it will help you, work better on your weak areas instead of running away from them. So please do give mocks if possible. Give one mock in March itself and keep one for April, so that whatever didn't go right in March, right, you can work on that and then give your next set of mocks in April, and then you'll see there's improvement. Second mock also, you will get more things which you have to work on, and you leave some days in the end to work on those areas. Okay, fine. Next is who's next? Okay. So Vaidyanathan is asking me some classes to recommend for final CA. I generally don't do that. I don't recommend classes, right? Right. You also have a lot of subjects that are offered by CAtestseries. You can have a look at it, right? You need to appear for May 25 attempt, you're saying, and how to start preparing. So if your attempt is May 25, first and foremost, as I keep repeating, at this stage, whichever classes you buy, or if you're buying video lectures, go through the video lectures, and after the video lecture, please do your self-study. So once you've watched a video lecture, please go through the notes or the module that you're going to study, right? Try to solve one question of each type, one, right? And so at this stage, what you need to completely focus on is getting the concepts very, very strong, becoming very thorough with concepts, because once your conceptual clarity is good, you can work on your revisions will go faster and smoother, right? Okay. Chitra is asking that she's not able to retain tax provisions. So what I can tell you, Chitra, as I told you last time also, whatever things you know that I have to remember, right? Section number, provisions, whatever I have to, like, in law, so if I have to write I need to code those things, right? What you can do is you can make a list of it, right? Don't spend separate time by hearting. Instead, just make a list of all those things that you really need to know. And what you could do is every day, maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes, just going through the list, right? So by the time your exam would have come, 80 times you would have gone through that particular list, right? So that is what I want you to do. List it out and have a look at it every day, because the more number of times you see it, you will be able to remember it and you will be able to retain it without taking separate efforts for it, right? Okay. Next question is by Gunjan. Ma'am, I feel sleepy. I sleep for 6 hours at night and 1 hour in afternoon. Gunjan, ideally, you should be sleeping 7 to 8 hours at night. That is the ideal sleeping time, right? You can use, if you use your day well, see, we get 24 hours. You, even if you sleep for 8 hours, you get 16 hours in a day, right? So if you are utilizing your day well, you need not just sleep for 5 or 6 hours. Ensure you get your 7 to 8 hours sleep, right? Second thing is afternoon nap. I will recommend, if you want, you can sleep in the afternoon, but not in the 2 to 5 slot. As you are very much aware that our exam time is 2 to 5, right? So your body and mind has to be used to studying at one place, sitting at one place, solving at that time. So no afternoon naps in 2 to 5. If you feel sleepy, I like, in spite of doing all these things, having a good sleep schedule, which I've told you, what you can do is all these techniques which I told you, right? The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the box breathing, all these things will help you become very, very fresh. Like before you start your study sessions, do these things to help you become fresh and help your mind to focus on studies, right? Okay. Vedyanathan is asking, is saying thank you. Yeah, welcome so much. Welcome, Vedyanath. No problem. See, Vedanath, I generally don't recommend any professors or any particular classes, right? So no problem. I hope I answered your other question about how to approach your studies, right? Okay. See, any subject-wise queries that you'll have, you may approach CA test series. You have specific mentors for each subject. They can help you better. I am going to help you with your overall strategy, planning, and mindset. So any subject-wise specific query, I'm not answering, because you have mentors, chapter-wise, subject-wise mentors by CA test series. So you can just WhatsApp them. If you purchase their test series, they'll surely connect with you and help you solve all your doubts and all your queries. Yeah. Niyant is asking whether in chapter-wise test, if he's purchasing from CA test series, whether the checking is going to be lenient. No, it is going to be as per exam standards. So if you purchase the chapter-wise test series, it is going to be, the checking is going to be exactly as per exam style. So you need not worry about that. They will ensure that even if it is a chapter-wise thing, the presentation and the answer has to be as per ICI standards and quality, right? Okay, Avinash is asking me, I lose my concentration while solving big questions. So I already told you, Avinash, today I've given you so many techniques to help you increase your focus and concentration. I also had given you the back counting technique to help you be in a better state of mind when you're studying. You try all these out. If it is still not working for you, what you can do is you can connect with me, or you can even join my one-to-one mentoring, right? I have a one-to-one mentoring program with CA test series also. You can join that too, right? Vipul is asking how many subjects should I study in a day. So I recommend that you maximum take 2 subjects in a day, not more than that. Because if you take 3 to 4 subjects, 3 subjects, for example, you hardly spend 2 or 3 hours per subject, right? So what happens is you are not able to finish a chunk of portion. The continuity is not maintained. So what I recommend is you take 2 subjects, a difficult and an easy one, and finish the portion and move on to the next, right? Okay, so Gautam is saying that whenever I plan, I get nervous seeing the undone things. So I won't plan only. No, Gautam, planning is very important, because if I don't have a plan, I don't have a target, I will not put in my best efforts. See, what I'm saying is don't make very big plans that, in this entire month, I don't want you to make a detailed plan. Start with weekly plans. Weekly plans, you can just have a simple date, subject, chapter plan, right? And what happens is when you make such plans, when you have a target every single day, at the most 10-20% goes up down. That you can always cover in the next 2-3 days, stretching a little, or at the most it will be 5 or 10% will go on to the next week, the backlog, right? But weekly plans you need to make, and you need to try your best to achieve it, right? Not planning would be a very bad thing for CA. You cannot go about in this way. Yes, moving on to the next question. Okay, so Snehal is asking, I am also having household chores. I'm helping my mom. Please give me some tips to manage time. See, I'll be very honest with you, Snehal. I have had students who are married, who have kids, and who have still managed everything. So let me tell you one thing. If you have other commitments also, please have specific deadlines. Like, when you're studying, completely study. When you're doing your household work, you dedicate specific time to it. Now what the key lies here is, whoever, if you're helping your mom, you can tell her, she'll understand that this is the time I will help you out, but when I'm studying, please don't disturb me. Then you can ask me all your questions. Sorry, you can whatever work you have to give me, you can give me in that particular slot. So having those particular slots for studies and for other work, like your household chores, if you have to do, you need to divide your time accordingly. So nothing in between, right? So when you're studying, only studies. When you are doing your household work, you can focus on that without feeling guilty. But when you're studying, you don't have to think about that. And your communication with your family members is the key. So make sure you're communicating with them and telling them, right? So that there are no misunderstandings, and at the same time, you're able to manage your studies and your other responsibilities also. Okay. Next is Avni. Okay, Avni is saying that she does make a timetable, but unexpected things happen, and at the end of the day, I become demotivated. See, Avni, every day unexpected things will not happen. I understand there'll be times when things will not be the way you want, right? But every day it cannot be the same, right? You have to have so maybe in a week once it will not go as per plan, but it cannot be that every day things are not going as per plan. So maybe there is some issue in the way you're planning, right? So as I told you, if you have certain things that you have to give your time to, please keep specific slots for it, right? But rest of the time, you really need to put in your best efforts, and you have to go as per timetable. Avinash is saying that I tend to do a lot of calculation mistakes in mocks. How do I do this? How can I avoid this? So, Avinash, one thing I can tell you is we tend to make very careless mistakes. Is either we are underconfident, right? We know things, but because the confidence level is very low, we make careless mistakes, or we are overconfident, right? Either of the two. So, what I will recommend is, before even a mock test, what you can do is you can spend certain time, maybe if you're writing a mock, 15 minutes, obviously you'll have your reading time. Before that, sit 5-10 minutes at one place, calm yourself. I've given you so many techniques. You can do the spinal breathing technique before a mock test, right? Calm yourself. You will see once your mind is calm and composed, automatically you will see that you will be able to perform better, right? Your mind is the key here. These careless mistakes are made because your attention is all over the place, right? So before your mock, try this out. Be there 10-15 minutes before, relax yourself, make your breath normal, do the spinal breathing and start doing it. You'll see the change. Yes. Vardhan, about presentation, we had masterclass too. So I will be glad if you can just have a look at it and, all your doubts will be solved. Madhu is asking whether CA Pass guarantee scheme includes one-to-one mentorship. No, it does not include. For that, you have to register separately. For this one-to-one mentorship, every week you will get around 45 minutes to 1 hour with me, right? And I will be sending you a tracking framework to help you keep track of the time. And plus, I will be monitoring your efforts every day. Plus, you will be getting a lot of audio files. Every week you will get a new audio file to help you be in a great state of mind. So, right, that is not included in CA Pass guarantee scheme, but you can separately register on CA test series and you can just connect with them. They'll help you out with how you go about with this, right? Okay. Okay. Akriti is asking, how do I avoid procrastination? See, procrastination can only be avoided if you have made a plan, a weekly plan, and you know every day that when I get up in the morning, this is what I have to do, right? So your weekly plan and sticking to the plan is the key to procrastination. So ensure you make a plan according to the time availability and make a very realistic plan, and that will help you have a goal in the morning, which will automatically help you reduce all your procrastination, right? Okay, next question. How to avoid procrastination is done. Okay, again, I'm getting a lot of questions about one-to-one mentorship. So as I told you may connect with CA test series. They will guide you, right? How do you go about and how to register. They will tell you exactly what is to be done, right? Akriti is asking about anxiety. So as I told you, the spinal breathing technique, which I just gave you some time back, you do it for 10-15 minutes, you will see 10-15 times. That will actually only take 3 to 4 minutes. Whenever you're feeling very anxious or nervous, it will help you reduce your anxiety to great extent, right? Okay, in the exam, okay, Shravan is asking, in the exam hall setting, I'm seeing others and getting easily distracted. See, Shravan, this is your exam. Whatever they have done, they are not going to come and help you there or either way out. So you just focus on what you are doing, right? Don't bother about others, right? I want you to, so as I told you, before you start your paper, please calm yourself down. I've told you so many techniques today. When you do all this thing, you will see your mind and your head and your brains are completely in place, and then all these other negative things or negative settings will not matter to you, right? So please do all this before you start a paper. You will see the change, right? You can try this out now. When you write your mocks, you start doing it, you will see a lot of difference in the way you're attempting your mocks also. Yes. Okay, Udayan is saying that he blacked out on financial management exam day. Okay, so Udayan, so what I will tell you is every day, make it a point that you do some kind of meditation. It could be a very, very simple breathing technique plus meditation and mindfulness combination, right? From now only, you ensure that your mind, you're taking some time out from the day for your mind, you're relaxing your mind. And today I've given you so many techniques. Spend some time every day on these techniques, and especially in the exam hall, if you're getting very nervous, please do the spinal breathing technique which I told you. I can tell you it will really help you out. Yeah. But from now, you start making an effort to ensure that you are doing things to relax your mind so that it does not you don't get very anxious or nervous or blank out in exams, right? From today, if you take those efforts, it will help you to be in a good state of mind when you are actually giving your papers. Shubham is asking that last attempt he failed because of MCQs. So what should I additionally do for MCQs? So on the CA test series app, you have a lot of MCQs. So you should be solving them. Plus ICI also has chapter wise MCQs. So make it a point every day, Shubham, to ensure that you are spending half an hour every single day on MCQs. Also, CA test series have books on MCQs wherein they have given the MCQs, the solution and the reasoning for that. So make maximum use of these resources, right? So you can check their website and their app, you'll get all the details. Okay, next question. Gautam is asking how to manage our feelings when our paper comes tough. See, Gautam, a very normal thing is accept it that ICI will set at least one paper which is very, very difficult in one group. One group, minimum one paper is going to be very difficult. So at that time, what you need to ensure is when the paper is difficult, instead of getting very nervous, so that time you do all these techniques, the breathing techniques to help you be in a good state of mind. And once you get the paper, when you're going through the paper and you understand it is very difficult, first thing you ensure is somehow you are getting your first 45 to 50 marks. So you strategize your entire paper in such a way that you're sure that my first 45 to 50 marks are ensured, right? Once you do that, then what you can do is then you can solve the other questions. So first thing is aim that whatever you know, you will get your 45 to 50 and you can always score in other papers. So at that point of time, instead of getting worked out, you have to use your mind to ensure that you're strategizing really well and you're ensuring that you're getting your first 45 to 50 marks so that passing thing is ensured, and then you can obviously make up for the balance marks in the other papers. So that time the calmness of mind and applying your mind well at that point is very important, right, Gautam? Okay, next question. Yes, your Viresh, is the method you're using is also fine, Viresh. Good, it's a good method. So people are asking about internship and articleship. Currently, I'm not answering that here, yeah, because we are talking about May 24 attempt and people want more and more tips here, yeah. So Venkatesh is asking whether I need to, he's confused whether he has to write one group or both groups for CA final attempt. So Venkatesh, what I can recommend is what you do is you audit, right? You do a subject wise audit. You understand where is it that you stand in each subject. So as I told you, only finishing the concepts is not enough. You have to allocate time to revisions and paper writing. So at this stage, where are you? Whether you finished your conceptual understanding phase or it will take you another 1 month if you have one or two, it will take you end of March to complete all the concepts and the video lectures or your classes, right? That is the call you have to take. So what you have to do is every subject you make a list of it, understand where is it that you stand, and then you take your call whether after doing all the conceptual understanding I am going to get adequate time for revisions and writing my mocks, at least 200 marks mocks, right? If you think no, that is not possible, then you give one group, right? Okay. Okay, Madhu is saying that I'm 8 months pregnant, will be having my delivery around first week of April. How to manage studies now and after delivery? Please help. Okay, congratulations, Madhu. Yeah. So very good news. So yeah, if you are delivering in April and you are attempting a NEET November 24 attempt, what I will recommend is you do only one group, because it will not be possible for you with the baby to manage everything. What I can tell you is first 2-3 months, don't expect that you'll get much time, but whatever you, at least here what matters is your consistency, that you're very, very consistent with your efforts. If initially, if you can manage even 2 hours per day, and in the last 2 to 3 months, if you can go to 7-8 hours, which is fine. But at least little by little, you need to start making the efforts. So being very honest, and from my experience, first 2 months will be very difficult for you. But at that point of time, at least 1 to 2 hours if you can remove, and later on, if you start studying 7 to 8 hours, it is possible, right? But attempt only one group, and first you ensure that your concepts and conceptual understanding is done. You're very good with your concepts, and then you move on to revisions and paper writing. Yes. Okay. For isochronic and binaural beats, I have sent you on the chat. You will get 2 links. The first one is isochronic Vidyanathan. The second is binaural. You have to simply click and do it, right? Shravan is saying that conceptual understanding is done except for new amendments and for new scheme. So if you're done with your conceptual understanding, first you finish with your amendments, and then you can move on to revision. See, if you are in Feb and you finished your entire conceptual understanding phase, then you can give both the groups, right? But first you finish off with all your amendments and then start with the revisions. Okay. Harsha is saying how to complete syllabus by April if I start from tomorrow. So tomorrow is 12th of Feb. So Harsha, I'm hopeful that you're just giving one group. If it is one group, still by 1 month, I recommend at least 1.5 months for revision. So you may try completing your portion as early as possible. But please give only one group. 2 groups at this stage will not work, because you will not be able to put in quality studies and quality input, right? Guru Chandar is asking, is it mandatory to create notes, or marking in books and reading is sufficient? Yes, no. If you are okay with markings and reading, markings is absolutely okay. It's not necessary that you make notes. What you can do is on the left side of your page also, if you want to write down important points in your notes, that is also fine. Those of you who really need to refer to their notes may do the note making activity, but others who are comfortable with notes also, like, lefting to the material, that is also fine if you have your markings in place, right? Okay, I think I finished all the questions. Vedyanathan, you have not got the links, is it? Okay, I'm again sharing the links for everybody's benefit, right? I think a lot of you all maybe all didn't get it. Just give me 1 second. Let me share the links. Acha, okay. Harsha is saying you are a foundation student. Okay, so if you're a foundation student, yes, it is very much possible for you to study. But here, if you're going to start from tomorrow, please ensure that you're very, very consistent with your efforts and you make every day count, right? If you are able to do that, yes, absolutely, you can give, you will be able to give your June attempt. But consistency is the key here, that you're putting in your best efforts every day. So please have your weekly plan in place and try to stick to the plan no matter what, right? Okay, I have sent the links again for those who didn't get it. I think I answered all your questions except for any subject wise. So as I told you all, for those who are asking me subject wise questions, please connect with CAtestseries. They have a subject wise mentor there to help you and guide you for particular subjects. So they'll be best at it. So you should go to the best faculty for each subject, right? Who have subject wise expertise. Any more questions, any of you? I think I answered all of them. Okay, I think all the questions are done. Okay, I hope you all found this session very, very helpful. What I can tell you all is, I know your generation, you all believe in, you all feel that breathing techniques and all how effective can they be? So one thing I can tell you all is all these techniques I have told you, they are very easy but very, very effective. If you do them regularly, you will see a lot of increase in your productivity, in your reduction in your stress levels. And when you do this before your exam, the quality of your exams and the way you write your exams, in your mental state, you will see there is a huge difference. Try it out now only when you start doing your mocks, right? Try all these techniques and I can guarantee you're going to see a lot of changes there. Yes. So all of you, I hope you all are preparing really, really well for your exams. And any of y'all, if y'all, as y'all are asking me a lot about one-to-one sessions, please connect with CAtestseries. They will surely guide you there about how to enroll. And meet y'all again for the next session next week for the Masterclass 4. And all the very best. Study well. Bye-bye. Take care. Have a lovely weekend. Yes. Bye. Bye, everybody. Yes, I'll just end the session. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, bye.